Since our singing voices didn't make it to Nashville,
we figured we would use our voices in a completely different way.
we're two friends hanging out, sharing about our businesses.
Our journeys to motherhood, things we love, and making time to do life
Together. This is
two chicks and a glass. Hey guys, I am LaShonda Hollins, and I am one half of Two Chicks and a Glass.
Hey y'all, I am Angela Robertson, and I'm the other half of Two Chicks and a Glass. And today's episode, we are going to share why we're even doing this crazy podcast. But first, LaShonda is going to tell us what's in her glass today.
Awesome. So we're going to start off each podcast with what's in our glass. And because it's two chicks in a glass and we like wine, we are both wine lovers. And so we thought, why not tie wine into what we're doing on our podcast? And so today, which is very, very rare for me, I have a white Riesling in my glass. And I have my favorite glass from one of my good friends' winery, Kissing Tree Vineyards. But the wine that I'm having today is actually a Riesling from Pikes Peak. So if you're watching this on our YouTube page, you can actually see the bottle that I just held up, but it's a Riesling from Pikes Peak in Colorado. Me and Emmanuel went there a year or so ago for my birthday. We went to Colorado, and the wine there, we were not expecting to be so good. And I'm not a big white drinker or a sweet drinker. And so this Riesling is actually semi-sweet, and it's a white. I'm usually a bold red drinker, a cab drinker, so you may see a lot of that, but we are going to try to give you a variety of things. So I'm drinking a nice chilled Riesling that is really good, and I'm having it because we had shrimp pasta last night, and so it was left over from last night, and I don't waste wine, so.
I heard that, friend.
I do not waste wine, girl. I had to finish that bottle. So one of the things that we're also going to do is Angie is going to be telling you about a different lippy that goes with the wine that we're having every time we do a podcast. So Angie?
Well, first of all, friends, I'm a little jealous of this wine. My belly's like hanging over my lap right now, but just give me like a couple months and I'm going to be on here with my wine too. So today I'm going to pair this lippy. It is actually called Birthday Cake. I'm pairing this with a white wine just because it's light. And this is a mat that you can wear. It's going to last like 4 to 6 hours. It's going to be perfect for sipping wine. It's a nice little nude, so it looks like I barely have anything on. It's great for every single skin tone, and it's not going to budge on your glass. So today is a birthday cake.
And just so you know, a sweet white goes really good with actual birthday cake. Usually, sweet wines can be dessert wines and like your Moscatos and things like that, your ports. So perfect name for a perfect wine.
How about it? 2 bounces for that.
2 bounces, and we're both on our bouncing ball. She's on her bouncing ball for a whole nother reason. I'm on mine because sometimes too much time in the chair makes my back hurt. So
like while we're doing this is our journeys to motherhood. So I think that's kind of like a segue into that.
Yeah.
And I'll say like right now I'm 9 months pregnant. Woohoo. And bouncing on the ball, trying to get this baby down and prep for birth. But that's one of the reasons we're doing this. Like we both have had some struggles with fertility. And right now it is the season that I'm actually, finally able to have a child. So I'm so excited to be sharing this journey like with my best friend. And I'll also share this, before we even hopped on right now, I haven't had a baby yet. And I'll tell you what really freaks me out is postpartum. So I think that it's a perfect time for us to start this podcast because I'll be able to talk out my feelings and actually see my best friend every single week.
And that's
So
awesome.
exactly, it's definitely going to help, in the season as, I personally prep through motherhood.
I'm excited to be doing this with you, first of all. It is it's a big deal for us. I think one of the other reasons that we did this is because we both have busy lives, and as you all know, with busy lives you have a tendency to, not call people every day or not call people every week. And Angela's my best friend, and so we would always pick up right where we left off. That wasn't a problem, but I think we missed each other too, but things continued to get in the way. So this was one of the ways that we can see each other every week, talk to each other every week, and just have fun and be ourselves. And so this was the perfect segue into doing that. The other reason that I wanted to do a podcast was I speak about my infertility issues. So I also do public speaking, and my fertility issues is what drove me into public speaking. And so, as Angela said, this is a way for us to talk about that and to get the word out about motherhood, because she is about to be a new mother, as well as our journeys to motherhood. And I'll be starting a little bit of a different journey soon, where we're going to be trying to get pregnant and going through a lot of fertility stuff as well. And so that's something that I'll be able to share with women that are going through that, or just women who've already gone through that and who felt like they went through the process and nobody understood. Like, we understand. And so we're here to talk about that. We're here to talk about lifestyle, not just what's in our cup, but what's in our closet and what's on our plates, and what's going on in the world that interests us. So I am a little bit of a Southern belle. I like a lot of different things, and so this is the perfect platform to talk about all of those things.
On top of what she said, like, we are not only like journeying into motherhood, we are also wives, and we are both wives to our high school sweethearts.
Yes.
Now, we both have a little bit of a different journey, and I just got to say, it's amazing that we married our high school sweethearts, but also it's amazing that we've known each other for so long and we've been able to maintain this relationship, because good friends are so hard to find, y'all. So we're going to share, what life is like dating your husband, and, making that journey through life, having friends that you love, also a husband that you have to learn how to live with.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. One of the things that I'm big on also, that I can't wait to do a podcast or do a segment on, is spousal arguments too. I wrote a blog about it a few years ago, and people don't know how to argue, or people want to appear as if they don't argue at all, like we're perfect and we're happy. And there are going to be arguments, and there are going to be confrontations, and there's just a healthy way to do that. And so just talking about how we get through the good times and the hard times in our marriage, and how we've lasted for so long. I've been with my husband we've been married 10 years. We celebrated 10 years of marriage last month, and we've been together 17 years. And we celebrated 17 years of just dating and being together last month as well. So we've been together for a long time. And I think between myself and Angela, we have a lot of experience and growth, and communication and relationships and all of that stuff, good and bad.
Absolutely. And to kind of piggyback off of that, like, I've been married for 9 years. My husband and I, we were together in high school and had like a 4-year gap. And we knew, like, I knew he was my person. I just, at one point, it wasn't time for that, and we got to experience life. And, I'm just over the moon excited that we did end up together. And just like LaShonda was saying about perfection, like, we are not perfect people. And that is, to me, like, if y'all don't know, I'm a beauty guide with Lime Life by Alcone, but part of that was my discovery into living life, knowing that I don't have to be perfect anymore.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times, like whenever we have careers, which is another thing we're going to talk about, like life with a career, you've got friends, you've got family, you've got, this image that you feel like you have to portray. And then you take it to social media, which is simply a highlight reel of everybody's life. So you think that you have to live up to this perfect standard for people. And what I discovered, along my journey with Lime Life, and is that you don't have to be that. Like, you can literally live, be your perfect, imperfect self, and
Absolutely.
still be able to have a career and enjoy life a lot more.
Exactly. I 100% agree with that. And as you and I were preparing to get on this podcast, we both talked about being a perfectionist.
Uh-huh.
And so and that's one of the characteristics that both you and I have, is this perfectionism thing that hovers over our head sometimes. And I think we do a good job of telling each other, like, okay, we're being a perfectionist now, like that's very minor. And I think that happens in this thing that we call life all the time, where we think that we have to appear perfect, be perfect, perform perfect, look perfect, sound perfect, and for people to accept us, or people to like us, or people to love us, or whatever the case may be. And that's not always true. And so I think it'll be good for us to talk about that and touch on that as well. Going out into the speaking world also, like, one, I love to talk.
Me too.
I love to talk, but there's always this sense of nervousness and perfectionism that comes whenever I get ready to do a speech or do a presentation. And so I constantly have to tell myself that what I'm talking about and what I want people to get from me is not about perfectionism. It is about the imperfect life that we have, whether it be infertility and society making us feel like we have to bear kids, and something is wrong with us if we can't. Like, those are all of the barriers that I want to break down. And so I try to continuously call myself out when I'm falling into that habit of trying to be a perfectionist. So
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm with you on that, sister. Like, I just got to say, like, I'm over the moon excited to be doing this. I think, this is another thing that I do want to share about why before I forget. Okay. So my best friend, I've been in business with Lime Life, and I'm going to tell y'all, like, I really wanted her to do that with me.
oh, so this is where we're going.
And it is never going to end. Like, at some point, if she ever wants to hop on that train, she's more than welcome to. But you know what? We were actually, and I want to kind of talk about when we decided to do this. We were sitting on the couch. It was at my baby shower after that. And, I've been wanting to do some type of work with LaShonda, just because, I feel like, even though, she's not necessarily on board with Lime Life as of now as an independent beauty guide, which she totally can do.
Like, claim it, girl. Claim it in the name of Jesus.
I'm going to claim it. Yeah. But, when you have a friend who is also thriving, like, I think that she has found her groove. And I'm happy, that you were actually speaking out about your truth and the things that you're going through. But I wanted to partner up with her, like, some type of way. And what better way than us to both use our voices to come together to collaborate as women. Collaboration over competition is always key in everybody's business. I definitely hope that, if you're out there and you're listening to this, that you can still make it without competing with every single person.
Yes.
So, I thought that it was going to be very important for us to collaborate. So we were actually sitting on the couch, and I'm like, we should do a podcast together. And she's like, yeah. And then let's do it. And we were trying to come up with a name, and we've got to go ahead and throw my man some love.
It's all about him. Like, thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick. He came up with our name, like, because we were going back and forth, and this literally happened so fast. He said, "What about Two Chicks in a Glass?" Because we were kind of brainstorming. And he came up with that name, and we basically had a meeting right there.
And the husbands were involved.
Yeah, they were so involved.
They were there. And that's one thing I can say about our husbands is that they are very supportive. One, they're supportive of us in general, but they're always supportive of us being together and us doing things together. One, because they're cousins and they're best friends, and it allows for them to be together. I think that's the real secret, but but they're very supportive of us. So shout out to Nick for helping us come up with Two Chicks in a Glass.
And Emmanuel for like thumbsing it up.
Yes.
I don't even know if that's a word.
for thumbing it up for us.
For thumbing it up for us.
And supporting us.
So at some point, during our journey through this podcast, y'all will certainly be hearing from the guys in our lives and maybe a few other people.
I agree. We don't know who those other people are going to be, but stay tuned. There's so many people out there that, one, need a platform, two, that have gone through a lot of the stuff that we are going through in our experiences, and they have a lot to share too. So this platform is for us, but it is for us to give other people an opportunity to come in and reach as many people as we hope to subscribe to our podcast. Like, I'm shooting for the stars here, past the stars, okay? But we want to be able to share this with everybody because, as Angela said, this is not a competition. Like, this is a sisterhood, and that's what we want to make it. And we want men to listen too. Now, don't turn your computers and stuff off, men. We want you to listen too. Yeah. But this is an opportunity for us to come together.
Yeah. So I think did we go through our list?
I think we went through our list. We talked about the wine, we talked about the lippies, and we gave them our reason why, friend. And I'm excited. I'm just excited.
All right. So we do hope that y'all stay tuned for what's coming up. So what's happening with me is I'll be having a baby very soon.
Yay!
Holiday collection with Lime Life by Alcon. It did just drop, so you can always look for me, and I'll be happy to help you with all of your personal shopping needs, your skincare and makeup over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
What about you?
I have a couple of things coming up myself. So next month, actually, I am going to be doing I'm going to be speaking. I'm going to be a guest speaker at a women's conference here in San Antonio. So if you are in the San Antonio area, definitely tap into the Queening is My Purpose webpage, because there you can get your tickets. That's where I'll be speaking. That is going to be awesome. I'm excited. It's a women's conference, so it's going to be a lot of women there to hear what I have to say. I'm hoping to be able to grab some video or something to share on our YouTube page, which we'll be sharing with you for you to tap into that as well. And then I also have on the day after my presentation. So that speaking event is going to be on the 14th, I think, Saturday, the 14th of November. And on November the 15th, I am going to be doing a chat with the author. So I have written a book, and I am going to be having a sit down with anyone who has read my book or who wants to read my book. If you have questions, it is Your Guide to True Self-Love. That's what it's called. You can get it on Amazon. And read it and join me as I sit down and have a chat with you all about the journey to self-love and self-care, and just being confident in who you are. That's what that book is about, and trusting yourself. So grab that book. And oh, one more thing, that's next year though. I have a yoga retreat coming up. I'm not going to give you too much information on the yoga retreat because it is next year, but stay on the lookout for the yoga retreat that's coming up that I'm going to be doing with one of our friends from high school, Brittany Turner. So stay on the lookout for that. But next month, chat with the author and my guest speaking opportunity at the Women's Conference here in San Antonio, Texas.
So if y'all are catching us on YouTube and you want all of the goodies, we're going to link these below. So you'll be able to get in touch with myself, with Shonda, and then also go ahead and subscribe to Two Chicks and a Glass. And we've done our first podcast, and we appreciate you and hope that you subscribe and tune in to all of our future podcasts.
Stay tuned for some fun and laughs, guys and girls. Y'all have a good day.
Bye, y'all.